My. Would you look at that? We're back in the old West, Petrified Forest National Park. And yes, this is not my normal hat. But yesterday when we were going through all that abandoned Route 66 stuff and ended up here, I promised we'd pick right back up where we left off, and that's exactly what we're doing. And thanks to a road closure in the park itself, it means we're headed back up to Holbrook, Arizona, and back down old Route 66. Gosh, I love Route 66. So much adventure on just one road. I mean, look at this. Talk about the Old West. This road is, I kid you not, called Bucket of Blood. And it was named for a building right over here known as the Bucket of Blood Saloon. Now you see why I had to get the cowboy hat. It just wouldn't be right walking down this old plank sidewalk in front of the Bucket of Blood with a trucker hat.
All right, Julio. You know this town ain't big enough for the both of us. Draw. Oh, take my boots off, Julio. Tell my mama I died with my boots off. Oh.
Just kidding, I'm okay. Forgot we were using finger guns. Ooh, look at that. That looks like a hanging tree.
We better vamoose.
It's true that Route 66 might not be for everybody, I guess, but you can easily see why I love it so much out here. Beats Netflix any day. All right, time to roll. It has been weirdly quiet today. Everything's sort of shut down and closed and extra chill because it's Super Bowl Sunday. I'm just hoping that won't affect my next stop too badly. Well, at least my next intended stop. There's always little stops along the way. And really, it might help us get a sweet hotel tonight, because hopefully it kept some people at least off the road today. As you know, if you saw the last episode, Arizona has been a lot of fun, but my destination is and always was over the border in New Mexico. Man, my band used to hate this part of the road. They just always thought it was so boring, but I've always loved it. Not just the view, but each and every little stop. I mean, come on, you've got ice and coffee teepees, tons of abandoned buildings everywhere, and of course, Knife City. I can still remember my bass player, Monkey, begging to stop.
Dude, I gotta get a sweet blade.
And speaking of sweet blades,
would you look at the size of that Swiss Army knife?
There, these are gargantuan. I don't remember these being here back in the day. Oh, dude, that's a can opener big enough for everybody's mother-in-law.
Look at the size of that butterfly knife.
I could cut the whole world with this thing. The only bad thing about moments like this is that they know you're in the parking lot, and you're the only one. So I do feel bad if I don't go in and buy something. Dude, this is more types of knife than I even knew existed. I see switchblades, I see regular knives, there's even kitchen knives and tasers and ninja weapons. Freaking ninja stars. All I can think of is Crocodile Dundee, you know, that's not a knife, that's a knife. Now, of course, I did buy a knife from Knife City. Not a very fancy knife, probably not the best knife. As a matter of fact, it was just the least expensive knife that I could find in there. I don't know that I really need a knife, but then again, you never know when you're gonna need a knife. Plus, the guy in there had so many knives, I felt like if I didn't buy a knife, maybe he'd start using some of them. Not literally, really, but you know what I mean. Ah, look at that. So many motels got marooned when the interstate came by and replaced old Route 66. That's why I try and support all the businesses I can along the highway, even if it's just something little, usually like a sticker, keychain, something like that. Or the hat, or yes, a knife. But as much as I want to stop at each and every little place because I love them so much, New Mexico is calling my name. All right, well, once you start seeing these cliffs here, you know that Arizona is almost finished. That means that this is our last stop in the state. For whatever weird reason, the rest stop is actually closed on the other side of the road. But I've got to stop here anyway. It's one of my favorite traditions to cruise down by all the trading posts and, of course, the giant teepee and cross the state line right over here by the historic Chief Yellow Horse Trading Post. Well, unfortunately, it looks like Scott has closed the place up today, so I guess I'll have to find a different time to swing by and say hey. Definitely my coldest trip on Route 66. At least so far, anyways. All right, well, I guess I'm gonna leave all the desolation of the state line here and make one final push towards Gallup, New Mexico so we can bed down for the night. Oh yeah, the temperature's dropping. Seen a lot of snow on them there hills, but we're almost there. Yes, Gallup, New Mexico, just like the song. Now this is a Route 66 town. So much interesting stuff to look at, so many interesting things to do. I try to find something new to do every time I come here, and this time is no exception because we get to stay in the historic, the epic epic Hotel El Rancho. This place is legendary on Route 66, and I've never got to stay here before. I am so stoked and so excited about this. All we have to do is check in tomorrow. Oh, that's right, because tonight there was no vacancy. Well, tomorrow it is. In the meantime, it's time to get some shut-eye so we can start over fresh in the morning. Well, I knew there was going to be bad weather today, but what we were expecting was rain and snow, and what we got was a whole lot of wind. And I'm talking like crazy wind, like Category 1 or 2 hurricane force winds and gusts. I was looking out the window this morning at the highway, and you could see semi-trucks almost tipping over. It wouldn't be so bad, but boy, is it a cold wind. Luckily, since we're going to the El Rancho Hotel later on, today's adventure will be mostly indoors. But there's still quite a while till we're supposed to check in, so... Although I originally thought we'd probably explore downtown Gallup for a while, it's so freaking windy that now I'm thinking maybe we'll go for a drive. Well, I thought I'd drive back to the Chief Yellow Horse Trading Post, but apparently it's still closed today as well. However, look at these guys. There's horses out here, and a tiny little baby horse, a little pony. As you can see, I was not kidding about the wind. I could barely hold the camera up without losing it. These guys look okay though. Hello, say hi to Scott for me. Well, it's a little bit of a bummer because it's my favorite spot. Thought I'd give it a second try. It is, after all, a historic Route 66 must do. But at least we ate up some time. Whoa! New Mexico's really blowing me away this time. I did manage to make it inside the other Yellow Horse Trading Post out here, which was pretty cool. A lot of cool stuff inside. I've actually never been in that one before. Dude, it is so crazy windy out here. It is hard to exaggerate just how much this little zephyr is a-blowing. Whoa! Oh man, I think I got sand in my craw. Almost all the stores here are actually owned by one member of the Yellow Horse family or another. There's a lot of history there going back to Chief Juan Yellow Horse and even his father way back in the day, being some of the earliest souvenir sellers on this part of Route 66. I feel like everyone in that family is so nice and friendly, so I always try to stop at least somewhere and get something. This time is no exception, but I'll show you what I got when we get back to the hotel. Alright gang, it's just a quick drive back and get ready for things to get awesome. If you've been thinking that the scenery around here looks like something out of an epic Western movie, you are right on the money. And it's because of epic Western movies that the El Rancho Hotel exists. Since the very dawn of Hollywood Westerns, filmmakers have been coming to this part of the Southwest looking for epic mesas and plains and canyons as backdrops for their films, which is why R.E. Griffith, brother of the famous film pioneer D.W. Griffith, came up with the idea of an epic hotel right at the foot of Route 66. And I mean literally, that's the old road right there that could serve as the southwestern home of the Hollywood production companies and stars. If you were wondering why this place looks like a Hollywood film set, it's because it basically is an extension of a Hollywood film set. Countless Hollywood production companies use the El Rancho as their base camp, which means not only have generations of Route 66 travelers stayed at the El Rancho, but so have generations of movie stars. And if you think the outside of this epic hotel is impressive, wait till you get a load of this. Dude, right from inside the door, you can see how special and customized this place is. It's unlike any other. This is it. Into the lobby of the Hotel El Rancho. Dude, look at this place. It is amazing. Did I not tell you? Oh my gosh. The splendor, the majesty, unbelievable. I mean, just look at the size of that fireplace. It is so massive. You can walk into the hearth. This is amazing. I am gonna run out of words to describe how mind-blowing this is. I mean, no wonder the movie stars like to stay here. The whole thing is like a gigantic film set. That was the fireplace I was just standing in, and look at the stairway on either side of it. I mean, holy moly. You could picture Leonardo DiCaprio coming down that thing. Look at the architecture, everything from the brick archways at the entrance, the old Spanish-looking wooden beams holding up the ceiling, the logs that make up the staircase, the stonework and brickwork making up the fireplace. This whole place screams craftsmanship. I mean, look at this, just standing right here. Look at all the various patterns and different types of brick and stone. This whole place is a feast for the eyes. They let me check in early since I was fleeing from the wind. Kind of strange being in here mostly all by myself. Dude, this is unbelievable. Wagon wheel windows, giant wooden front doors, and amazing artwork everywhere, including the furniture itself. Now that's what I call a wheelchair. Dang, take a gander at this table over here, and look at this chair. Imagine the skill it takes to make something like this, to say nothing of the inlaid wood of the table. I wish I could make things. Wow. Everywhere my eye lands, I see something awesome. Navajo rugs and paintings, including some recent local artwork. And check out some of the artifacts, like this ancient cigarette machine right here. Whoa, 3 nickels? You mean it's only 15 cents for a pack of smokes and free matches? No wonder everybody was smoking. And look at this. You could buy 2 and 3 cent stamps over here. Ooh, and they're sanitary. Wait, why would they be unsanitary? Whoa, and check it out behind the front desk. Look at that sick neon sign. Wow, there are display cases everywhere. And for very good reason. This one apparently contains some guns that Clark Gable used in the movie Across the Wide Missouri. There's even a little note authenticating them. Just imagine Clark Gable could have used these. Ooh, it looks like we have another cigarette machine over here. This one looks a little more recent. I was about to say it wasn't long ago that I remember those things being everywhere in every restaurant. And then I realized, yes, it was that long ago. The fact that I remember just means I'm getting old. Whoa, look at this stuff over here. Now, I am not a professional cowboy, but this looks like the equipment they use to hitch a team up to a wagon. What do you think, equestrians? Am I far off the mark? Dude, there's all kinds of cowboy stuff in here. Look at the size of this giant painting. Ooh, it's got a huge title to match. The pictorial mural of journeys from Gallup into the historic wonderlands of the original Kingdom of New Mexico and Arizona. Whew, look at this. They've got a whole history here on the side. All kinds of characters from New Mexican history. And a very detailed, very cool representation of the whole Four Corners area. Everything from the Grand Canyon to Albuquerque to Zion and Bryce Canyon. And all fringed with representations of Native American tribal dances. This is one crazy piece of art. Not to mention one huge piece of art. Whoa, dude, gigantic geodes, giant wolf drums. And look at this past the old music machine. It's the old-fashioned El Rancho Shoeshine stand. Can they shine white shoes? You've got to admit, this is one fancy place. And if it feels fancy to us today, imagine how insanely fancy it would have seemed in 1937 when it opened. Wow, dude, and I thought the view from downstairs was impressive. Speaking of fanciness, this place was so swank in the 30s and 40s that when they built it, they actually hired Fred Harvey's people. You know, the guy that built all the Harvey houses with the Harvey girls, the excellent service, to train the original staff here. It was literally top-notch accommodations and the highest possible service imaginable in what would have back then seemed like the middle of nowhere, at least to the Hollywood elite. Dude, look at all the movie star pictures up here. From what I understand, almost all of these stars stayed here. Errol Flynn, Katharine Hepburn, Humphrey Bogart, Doris Day. Ooh, speaking of Humphrey Bogart, look at his signed picture made out to the El Rancho right there. And right above him, Jimmy Stewart. Wow, there's Tom Mix up there. Gene Autry stayed here. Roy Rogers, Dale Evans, Mae West, the Marx Brothers. I mean, just look at all the celebrities on this wall. Oh, including Desi Arnaz. Ooh, and who could forget those other world-famous Western stars? John Wayne, who has his own display downstairs in the lobby. And, of course, everybody's favorite Western hero, Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan? The actor? Wow, look at these old photos. There's some of the early staff. Whoa, and check this picture of downstairs out. It really doesn't look all that different, does it? All right, I have now gone downstairs and officially checked in, and look at this. This place is so old school, you still have an actual physical room key. Having stayed in a lot of other old 1930s, 1940s, and 1950s motels and hotels along the route, all I can think about is how amazingly fancy and plush this place would have seemed to those early highway travelers. I mean, think about it. It's like the Plaza or the Waldorf was just suddenly plonked down in the middle of the desert. And it's not just the hotel itself. In addition to the immaculate room service, they also had a restaurant here and a bar and a lounge. Well, still do, in fact. But since I now have my room key and I've lugged all my luggage up those stairs, there is actually an old-fashioned elevator here, but I believe at the moment it's temporarily out of service. We might as well head back and check out the room. Now, I know what you're thinking. The hallways are a little bit creepy in here, and yes, it's true. They're a little old school, a little unique. And yes, from what I hear, people do say they're haunted, which I thought was ridiculous until I was standing right here. What's really cool though is how they've named most of the rooms in this building after past celebrity guests. Dude, look at all these illustrious names in here. Wow, so many movie stars. Downstairs it's much the same, except a little darker and with this creepy door to the basement. It's interesting because all the door frames are different. Like no two next to each other are the same. See how there's a little brick edge on this one, no edge here. This one's made out of logs, and then some of them just have this wood outline. Okay, not to be dramatic or weird, but I swear, twice downstairs in the hallway, twice, I've turned around and seen someone looking at me, and then turned back around really quick, like a double take, and no one was there. Oh, that's a weird door. The door that wasn't there. Here's a door that's just been replaced by a mirror. I'm guessing that's because they enlarged some of these rooms, like for example this one, the Ronald Reagan Presidential Suite. Apparently he's actually stayed in this one, and so has Paul McCartney. My next stay here, that's gonna be mine. Okay, this is a little creepy. Some empty display cases down here, and this weird end of hallway room that's just making an ominous noise and has, you know, the weird stepbrothers locked in these closets or something. No, thank you. A lot of hand-painted artwork on the walls, which makes it really unique. Definitely not like any other place I've ever stayed. Now, I wish I could tell you I was in the Ronald Reagan room or the Lucille Ball room or the John Wayne room, but those rooms are downstairs, and my room is upstairs. And I was getting pumped up, because for a split second I thought I was in the Jimmy Stewart room or the Fred McMurray room or Burt Lancaster, but it turns out that room number 225 is actually Rosalinda Russell. Oh well, as long as the inside is good. And friends, it does not disappoint. Check this out. Oh yes, this is gold. Trust me, I've stayed in a lot of old motels and hotels. You can have the fanciest, most well-restored lobby in the world. That does not always mean the room is gonna be nice. But just like the sign outside promised, it has the charm of yesterday and the convenience of tomorrow. Look! The American Pickers are on TV. Not to mention free Wi-Fi, uploading yesterday's episode right as we speak. True, slowly, but what do you expect? The walls are made of brick and stone. Dude, look at this bed, and looky what we have here. Well, it looks like somebody made themselves comfortable. Nice try, Julio. I see your eyes open, and I don't care what you say, you're getting a bath. This is weird. Nothing when I booked online said that there was going to be an extra bed in here, but oh well, as long as Julio's comfortable. Check out these blankets on the edge. These aren't authentic. Usually these ones are made in India or Mexico. And so all the trading posts will say, real Native American designs. Ooh, a nice roomy old school dresser here. Hey, look at this. We got the Holy Bible and a book about New Mexico. Okay, that's fancy. I've never seen that before. Nice ice bucket and some glasses. Some Navajo pottery inspired artwork on the walls. Oh, look at this one. That's pretty cool. Ooh, and I think my personal favorite is this sweet, comfy chair. Look at me, I have a chair. King of the castle, king of the castle. Hey, how about that? There she is. Rosalind Russell, or is it Rosalind? Rosalind? Now that's an actress I have not heard of before today, but it gives me an excuse to Google something later. Yeah. All right, now here's the part I appreciate is the bathroom is actually pretty nice. Most 1930s motels or hotels that don't totally gut their bathrooms, that's where you'll find the disappointment. But look at this, they've managed to keep old school fixtures in here, and it actually feels nice and clean. This is so weird right here because this bathtub is kind of set kind of high up. See that? It's pretty deep. It looks very similar to the bathtub and shower deal at the Disneyland Hotel in Disneyland Paris. That's what it reminds me of. Oh, look at that. A lot of old school places have this hexagonal bathroom tile that is almost always replaced, and when it isn't, it's usually kind of nasty. But this is actually really nice, really clean looking, and look at this. The old school Kleenex dispenser. The bathroom light even has a chain to turn it on and off, or at least off. Come back on! Oh, that was a close one. I don't like to make in the dark. Yeah, that's awesome. It appears to have all its old original doors and definitely has its old school original windows. Wow, look at that. See, I like when some things exhibit a little bit of age. Gives you a sense of the history. I mean, after all, you're staying somewhere historic. That's so cool, the hardware down there. A lot of interesting and unique details. Not the best view in the world, but I can see Route 66 down there. And it's kind of nice being on the end like this because I've got extra windows to look out the side of the building as well. Oh, look at that extension over there. That's weird because we were at the end of the hallway out here. So I don't know how one would access those rooms over there, assuming they are rooms. Maybe they were staff quarters, who knows? I also love old school details like this. Look at this little sign right here, and up here, old fashioned. And I think this solves a mystery for me. I don't know if this, oh, look. Look at that! It actually works! See, look at that. In the days before they added air conditioning to these rooms, given that this is the desert, if you wanted to cool things down, you could open these windows and slide this panel down on the door so you could actually get some cross ventilation, a little breeze. That's the reason they used to have those transept windows in old buildings to give you that airflow. This is an ingenious solution while still keeping the ceilings relatively low. I wasn't sure if it was gonna be painted shut or actually work or what. And the reason I say it solves a mystery is because I kept noticing these weird vents on all the doors. And I was thinking, that's a weird decoration. Oh yeah, it's not a suite, but this room is pretty sweet. No microwave or fridge because being a hotel that has room service, why would you need it? Of course, I always have to eat gluten-free because the celiac disease, so I travel with my own little stove and my own food. I'm always prepared to whip up my own meals. But dude, this is pretty awesome, especially for only like $75. I don't know if it's just because it's the off season or what, but any room this nice like La Quinta, Holiday Inn Express, anything like that's going for $125, $135 tonight. I feel like I scored a little bit. Once I'm done editing, if they open it up tonight, I might even go downstairs and check out the hotel bar, get a mocktail. Dude, it is hard to believe based on how nice this place is that it was once abandoned, shuttered, closed down, bankrupt, and could have become one of those Route 66 ghost hotels that are so common. But luckily, the people of Gallup knew what they had here and it was auctioned off pretty quickly, restored to its former glory, and from the late 80s till now, it's been in the hands of the Ortega family, famous throughout the country for their string of Native American trading posts and national park concessions, which explains why the gift shop here is so well stocked and awesome. There is a third story in here, but I haven't seen anyone going to it, which makes me think maybe we're not allowed to go to it. Ooh, but there's a nice view of the Best Western across the street from here. Best Western? I don't know about that. This place is pretty Western. And I don't know about you, but I think I'd rather stay here. Except that I keep hearing footsteps and seeing people. Maybe that's why they said that Ghost Adventures is coming here soon. And maybe that's also why the lady in the gift shop right now just said, I'm going to have a lot of fun tonight. Well, as long as Julio's with me, he's protected me from worse. All right, well, I've gone on for way too long and gone a little nuts with showing you the hotel. I'm sure there's more to discover, but I'm also sure that we're going to be back sometime. I got a lot of editing to do still and a very early morning tomorrow. Not to mention Julio's bath in a second. But before that, how could we not look at this epic neon outside? Look at that. Charm of yesterday, convenience of tomorrow. Oh, and look at that sign. How can you beat that? They don't make them like they used to. I should also mention, as long as I'm down here in the cold wind, that if you're doing a Route 66 trip and you want to stay in the El Rancho, make sure you call and specifically ask to stay in the main building, because they did add on a motel portion much later on, and while I'm sure it's nice enough and everything, as you can see, it's not connected to the original El Rancho. And this place is so unique and weird and interesting and full of so much history, and maybe even so full of ghosts, that I'm pretty sure the old school part is the way to go. All right, one last look at this epic, amazing lobby. Oh, that feels great. And now, last but not least, it's bath time. I have never washed Julio, so I have no idea what this will do to him. But he has been looking so filthy and motley and a little foul that it's safe to say this is long overdue. Stop it! Stop it! Hold still, Julio! I didn't think that would happen. Look at him! Julio! You're like a whole new bird. That's amazing. Talk about a transformation. Oh, I know you're a little sore at me, Julio, but you know what? You've done your duty, and so have we. We can hotel and sleep well. Wait a minute. Why do I get the little bed? coming down here with my luggage. I look to my left, I see someone sitting in that chair, right there. And this fast, I go, all right. I look, notice someone in the chair, come around the corner, gone. And I mean like a person looking at me. Where could they have gone? The El Rancho might be haunted. Well, I've never driven on Route 66 in the snow before, so this is new for me. Nice. Gallup, New Mexico, Flagstaff, Arizona. Don't forget Winona. Bet it's snowing there too.